Welcome back to the Dark Diaries podcast. I'm here today with Chris. Please introduce yourself.
My name's Chris. I'm from Newcastle, England.
What brought you to the Miami University since you yourself are from the United Kingdom?
Well, I'm actually on the track team here at Miami. What brought us over was obviously track and also better opportunities here in America. So I went for an agency. Universities contacted us and I narrowed it down to this one. So yeah.
And what made you go specifically into running, being like I saw that you're one of the best cross?
I wouldn't say one of the best, but I give it a go. I was 9 years old, played for Newcastle Academy, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Did a bit of rugby, but at the time I was like getting into my running a lot more. I won a national title and that kind of like solidified it for us. So I just kind of threw everything away, put 100% in the running, and it's worked out so far.
Are you currently in a relationship?
Yeah, I am currently in a relationship.
Were you ever in a relationship and during the time when you were with someone in a relationship, you fantasized about another girl?
I don't put myself in relationships if you're going to do that, do you know what I mean? So.
Okay. Would you consider, was there any time in the past where you were a player?
Yeah, definitely. Not that I'm proud of it or anything. So I came out of a 4-year relationship and that was quite a struggle just because it took up so much of my life to like get accustomed to things that I kind of like, I didn't know what was normal.
I just think a guy can be a player with one girl and a simp with another one.
Yeah.
It just depends on the type of girl. But I do think that if somebody's a player, it's just also to fill the void in himself, to prove to himself how many girls he can get.
Yeah, I'd agree with that statement. I mean, it honestly depends on the guy as well. Like, some guys will say it's not because they're insecure, but I personally think it is. I mean, if you need a woman to like fill that void in your life, then you're just not looking for the right thing.
I feel like too many people are in relationships because they're lonely. It's when you're not in the right relationship, because of a fulfilled life by yourself before like being in a relationship in general. What makes a guy see the distinction? This girl I would want to be in a relationship with, this girl I would just want to fuck, or this girl I want to be in a situationship with.
You can tell from first sight whether you want to get to know a girl. Personally, for me, it comes down to like numerous things: the situation and where you meet her. If you meet a girl in the club, then it's probably not going to go anywhere. My current girlfriend, I can tell you for a fact right now, and as soon as I seen her, I was like, yeah, that's game. And then,
Is it because you guys instantly clicked?
yeah, I promise you that night, nothing happened. I drove her home, dropped her off home.
Yeah.
Must have been like a 10
Do you think actually
minute
that
drive.
do you actually think that the right guy would change for the girl? Because I truly think
100%. Before her, I was a player, like in your words, but I just wasn't interested in a
yeah,
relationship.
my eyes, I think the guy will always make it right with you and he will always treat the girl right if he's interested in her, right? Like the only
100%.
times he will play you or disrespect you.
Do it just because they can and they feel like they have a sense of power. But personally, for me, it's just like if I'm not interested, I'll make it known from the start and carry something on.
So a girl that you're not interested in and you just want to sleep with her,
Yeah.
you will make it clear right away.
It's different culture over here, but I feel like if you're going out clubbing in England and you take a girl back home, like
It's
nothing's
just-
gonna come of it. Like
Yeah,
you're just gonna say her for one night and then say goodbye in the morning.
yeah.
Whereas like if you're getting in a relationship, that thing doesn't happen on the first night.
I think it's a bad thing if a girl actually sleeps with a guy the first time she meets him. Like, does that show from a guy's perspective, I'm actually not that into her?
That's a good question.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
At first sight. My first relationship, we'd known each other for like a couple of years beforehand.
I had like a guy friend that made it very clear to me after that he doesn't want to be my guy friend. But do you usually think it happens that you can like know a girl for years and then turn it into a relationship? Guy, he knows exactly what he wants from you. So.
Yeah, not really. I knows there's feelings there. You might keep it hidden from you. The guy knows instantly that there's feelings there. Like anybody who says they don't and that feelings are built over time, I don't really believe them. But I mean, if a girl sleeps with you the first night, like I just personally wouldn't go there.
I personally think it's better to wait because then you also like build up the relationship before like you sleep with the guy. You believe that there can be a friendship between a guy and a girl because personally from my own experience, whenever I tried to really be friends with someone, unless it was a guy who was homosexual, it didn't really work out as a friendship, which like really disappointed me like when I just started to go to college. And like, what do you think about that? Do you
There's a lot of stigma about guys and girls not getting along, but personally, I've got plenty of friends that are girls. You've got to set boundaries, obviously, but like,
But do you think you are friends with girls you don't find physically attracted? Because from what like guys have told me, and just speaking from my own personal experience, no matter whether there's a boundary established or not, a guy will always try to pursue different things with you if he does find you physically attractive.
yeah, personally, I don't believe that you can only be friends with someone you don't find attractive.
What are your top three qualities when it comes to a girl? Like, what is your definition of a dream girl?
They have to treat their parents right and like have good relationship with their parents. Second would be education. Like education's vital. And then third would just be like I need to find them funny. Have a friendship relationship with them as well, not just
Yeah.
like strictly in a relationship.
But that also applies to a guy. Like if a guy's very good looking, but then you have like no personality, no charisma, you cannot, the person does not make you feel any type of way. The only thing they care about is like their physical appearance, and they don't intellectually stimulate themselves. They will never be as interesting of an individual because I feel like you can always find it better looks wise, but you will never find the same person and like how they make you feel.
Yeah.
If the guy isn't funny, then why would I want to be with him? Like, just say there was any time, a point in your life where you went through something difficult, which really changed the way you see things, especially, for example, when it comes to the way you see relationships.
My dad, I didn't have a dad growing up, so like I was always close to my family, my brother, my mom. I mean, my first girlfriend of 4 years cheated on me whilst I was in Italy, and that was a quite surprise. And that took like a couple months of just like getting over it. Just like, when I did find myself again, I wasn't focused on like getting straight back in another relationship. I was focused on running, getting my scholarship, focused on like training, getting better. And then I met Emily, and obviously I feel like good things come when you just work on yourself. You got to build on yourself before you get into brand new things.
Everyone goes through difficult experiences in life. Outside, everything seems so sweet, but on the inside, everyone has their own struggles. Relationship, like I was in a situation actually with a guy that was actually my friend at first in university, and then I found out that he actually had like a long distance girlfriend in the US who actually came to beat me up in uni, but I wasn't there. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Everyone goes through their own experiences, and I feel like that exactly shapes you for who you are. You don't see negative experiences as a bad thing. I just think to myself, if I wouldn't have had a bad experience by that age, I would have had it way later. And it also like makes you more mature at a younger age.
Because it's just like you can learn positives from it. Like I don't regret anything that's happened now because like it built me into who I am today. I highly doubt if that hadn't have happened, I'd be sitting here right now in America. But here I am.
So that motivated you to.
It definitely motivated me. I mean, like you got to focus on yourself. Anyone who's going through struggles right now, at the time it feels like the end of the world. And everybody told me that. Everyone was like, it's not the end of the world. Like,
Yeah.
got to get over it. At the time it feels
Yeah.
like this is it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to live forever like this.
Yeah.
But you honestly don't. Like, give it like a couple weeks, a couple months.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like everyone exaggerates when it comes to those things because I
Yeah.
don't really think that there's no situation or no person that you cannot move on from. In my opinion, it's a mindset thing. Like clearly, if somebody did you dirty in some sort of way, whether that's somebody cheating on you or somebody not being truthful to you, at the end of the day, for me that shows that the person is ugly on the inside and they will get their own karma. And I don't believe in like taking revenge. For me, like having revenge is basically simply not having me anymore in your life. They become depressed because they are like, oh my god, this person is my whole world. And I'm like, how can this person be your whole world if they like did you so dirty? If it were truly your person, they would never do that in the first place.
Everybody reacts differently to situations. Everyone takes different time to get over things. You just got to like respect people's like views on situations. Like if my friends need me, I'm there for them. However they need to react. You know what I mean?
I think actually it's harder for you as a guy to get over things than for a girl. Or like, how do guys process their emotions? I think when a guy goes through a heartbreak, it's much deeper than when a girl goes through one. When a guy loves someone, he loves like, more deeply than when a girl loves him, because a girl chooses a partner, she obviously has some criteria before she is with him, versus a guy, he could fall in love with the cleaning lady if that's how he felt.
I mean, I hope that's not true. Otherwise, I'm done for. But I know my personal opinion is like everybody loves differently. Everybody treats people differently. I say like one loves the same. Do you know what I mean? But everyone's relationship's different. Everyone has different views.
What is an advice you would give for guys that are struggling, that are, if they have been cheated on or they're going through a heartbreak, like what would help them, or what helped you to be like, fuck that shit? Like,
My advice is Ben and Jerry's for a week straight. You're allowed to be upset for a week, and then after that week, no more Ben and Jerry's. No more feeling bad for yourself. You feel bad for yourself behind closed doors, but every time you step out in the public eye, you've got to act like you don't care, you don't give a shit. You just got to act strong, and eventually you start to believe that, and you start to believe day by day it gets easier.
why do you believe that a guy needs to act like tough and all strong on the outside? Because my impression is that a lot of guys, like especially when they're surrounded by their friends or like in their environment, like, oh my god, I need to be so buff, I need to show how cool I am. But when they go inside their room, they're like actually fragile on the inside.
I mean, I suppose it is, but you've got to act tough, like to mentally believe it. You have to go outside with the mentality that like, okay, this isn't hurting, even though it like really badly is. And then day by day, you start believing it more and more, and it gets easier. And then like weeks, months, even years down the line, it's like, okay, like I was upset over that. It just doesn't happen anymore. But
Believe that life is a boomerang and that karma is a bitch? Like, do you believe that of everything you give out is gonna come back to you?
I don't believe in that shit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe in karma. I mean,
You don't believe in karma?
I just think it's random. I try to stick to my morals and just what I believe's right. And I feel like by doing that, like everything falls into place.
Not think that if you act shady, if you do something that is, I don't know, per se disrespectful, that it's gonna come back to you 10 times more.
I mean, I don't think it's going to come back to you. I just think, like, what's the point? Like, you got to treat people with respect. Like, treat people the way you want to be treated. So, yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. Like, I think you are what you believe in. So if you don't believe in it, I don't think it's gonna happen. But I do believe that life is a boomerang, and I've seen people like get it back 10 times worse. Maybe that's because I believe in it. So that's also like the people that I'm surrounded by just do something that you know has negative effects. The universe, because I'm a very spiritual person, I do think that it's gonna come back to you. You're not a spiritual person?
No, like
that's crazy. You don't believe in energies or
what? Like, obviously not. I'm a STEM guy, so that's just out the window completely.
That's insane. Do you know that we as humans have the 7 chakras?
Oh, please end this here. Like, stop.
He's a very logical guy over here, but for everyone listening right now, we have 7 chakras in our bodies. They need to be fulfilled for you to be happy in all aspects of your life, whether that's your finances, whether that's your love, whether that's your health, because everything is correlated. For example, if your chakra anahata is blocked, you will not be able to give or receive love. You don't believe in it?
I mean, whatever helps you sleep at night, I suppose. I mean,
that's crazy. Go meditate. I will tell him to go meditate. So.
No.
Okay, ever see a correlation in a girl liking you less? So you're like, damn, like I need to like prove myself. And
somebody act like that, I just threw in the towel. Like, I'm not going chasing. I mean,
you're not gonna, but don't you think it's the man's job?
No, it's not the man's job.
It
you say this every time. It's not the man's job. It's 50-50. Oh, I've pissed her off.
How is it 50-50? If you as a guy do not chase the girl, you will simply not be in love with her. The more a girl makes you suffer, the more you like her. If there is a girl that comes to you and you don't like her and you don't even recognize her existence, you'll be like, the fuck is wrong with her? She's so easy and boring to be with. She is chasing after you and you wouldn't even acknowledge her existence. You don't make a guy sweat a little bit, he will never pursue you. Like, I'm sure that subconsciously you were the one that needed to chase to be in the relationship in the first place.
Clearly have much better knowledge of in the relationship. It's 50-50.
Okay.
But like, it's a lot more trying to like see each other, plan ideas. I suppose then it's down to who likes who more. But once you get over that stage, it should be 50-50. Should be 50-50.
A 50-50 chasing wise, or also 50-50 splitting the bill wise?
Oh, never split the bill. Wait. Never split the bill in a relationship. If you split the bill in dating, that's possible. I think guys should pay for the bill if the girl is willing to go on a second date. If the girl's like completely out of it and like doesn't want anything to do with the guy, then you split the bill.
Okay, but in the relationship, the guy should pay.
Oh, 100%. I mean, my pockets are right. My girlfriend was here for the past 2 weeks. My pockets are dried out. Like, yeah, I don't mind. Like, it's been engraved. Oh, family dinners, you see your dad pay. It's just like being passed down to us over time. And I suppose, yeah, it's a culture thing. But like, that's my personal opinion. I won't hate on people for other opinions, but yeah. Good answer.
That's a very good
answer.
I must say, surprisingly, that
Good answer.
like it's traditional dating in my culture. Like my dad could go out with my mom and take 10 of my mom's girlfriends, and who'll pay, like he'll pay, you know, because especially because like I consider myself more Russian. Like I grew up in a Russian household, so it would just like demasculate him, you know. Paying shows that at the end of the day you are the man in the relationship, and you date to marry.
Not the question. Do I date to marry?
Do you date to marry?
Yeah, I did to marry. That's not a proposal. That's not I'm going to propose anytime soon, but yeah. Propose by 21, marry by 23, travel for 4 years, kids by 27. It's locked in here.
You want to marry so young? That's crazy.
22 is not young. Is that young?
Well, for a guy, I think especially, yeah.
But I'm also 19.
Yeah.
So that's 3 years down the line. So that's 5 years in a relationship. I feel like that's average.
Do you think body count matters in a relationship?
No.
So if your girl has a body count of 60, you would still be with her?
Okay. Maybe it does matter a bit. I suppose, yeah. It depends the scenario.
Did you ever have an experience where you slept with a girl you were like, damn, this was so bad?
No comments. Holy shit.
Is there a difference between cheating on a girl emotionally and physically?
Cheating on a girl emotionally rather than physically is a lot worse, because like as a guy you have to process your emotions and go through that, whereas like if you get drunk on a night, end up cheating, it's still really bad, don't get us wrong, but like better than like emotionally detaching yourself from a relationship and starting over again.
Yeah. I personally think it's bad both ways, because I feel like emotionally, of course, it's way worse because it shows that you never loved the person in the first place. I think physically it's also extremely bad because you show that you don't even respect the person, or you don't even think about the person before you do something. If somebody personally would cheat on me, I would never give a second chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you give somebody a second chance who cheated on you?
Fuck no.
Especially for you, because I feel like you're a guy who has a big ego.
I mean, yeah, it affects your ego a lot, but like not even that. It's just like the trust issues that come off the back of it. Like,
are you a guy who can handle rejection well?
I mean, I can handle rejection, but like getting cheated on is not really rejection.
Yeah.
It's more like betrayal. But
yeah, there's a girl that rejects you, you're totally fine with it.
Rejection's rejection. Shoot your shot, get shot down. That's about it.
Do you think when guys are afraid to make the first move, especially I've heard a lot of guys say, oh my god, I don't want to make the first move, what if she rejects me? Would you say to those guys they should still shoot their shot? Because I personally think it doesn't matter if they reject you. Like at the end of the day, it's one person who rejects you. Just because one person rejects you doesn't mean that the whole world doesn't want you.
I feel like you should assess the situation. If like shooting your shot's gonna like alter the relationship in a negative way, then like think to yourself, is it really worth it? But
you don't think it's unattractive when the girl makes the first move?
Unattractive? Fuck no.
I could see a guy that is 10 out of 10, and I would never make the first move, because I just think to myself, if you're already making eye contact with the person and the guy cannot come up to you after, he not only is he a pussy, but that's exactly how your whole relationship is gonna be. Then you're not dating a man, you're dating a woman.
Like if she wrote to you or like saw you in person, like tapped you on the shoulder and asked for your number, I mean, that's completely different to like if a girl came up to you in a club. Personally, anybody who like meets in a club is just like, it's never gonna happen. Like, yes, it's like
that's your like your side on that.
It's like fuck clubs. I loved clubs a lot more when I was back home, because it's completely different. You know, it's different back in Europe. I enjoy clubbing back home because it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's more like where you can take your girlfriend and like enjoy time with your significant other, whereas here it's like everybody's just crowded, gets hot, sweaty. I just personally don't like it. I'd rather much like...
Yeah, it's more of a college town. And it's not that I don't like clubs per se, but I also don't think much of like meeting someone in the club, because I feel like when you're in the club, when alcohol is involved, people take different things in clubs. I just think you're vibrating as a spiritual person. I feel like you're vibrating on low vibrations, and why would I want to give someone a chance who doesn't even know what's happening in their own mind? Like, of course there are exceptions, but like overall, no. For anyone who is visiting the UK soon, do you have any recommendations where to go?
So if you're ever in Newcastle, come to Market Shaker. So I turned 18 2 weeks before I came to the US. So every time I go back home, I'm like experiencing new things again, because obviously I didn't get into like the good clubs back home. So if you're ever in Newcastle, Market Shaker, go to a Weatherspoons. They do cheap drinks. And the casino. The casino is good.
What is your opinion about London? Do you prefer Newcastle?
London? Oh, stay away from London.
Why? I love London.
No, you've never been to Newcastle. Newcastle's where all the cool kids hang.
Well, it was very nice to have you on here, and thank you for answering all the questions.
No problem.